To my channel where we are diving into all things ADHD and parenting teens. If you're a parent feeling overwhelmed or you just want some practical tips to help your everyday life and help your teen thrive, you're in the right place. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be notified, and the bell actually to be notified of new videos. They drop weekly in here. You can also, I added my link to join my weekly emails where there's all kinds of tips and strategies and good things happening in there, and a little bit more lifestyle fun stuff from me. So let's jump in. Today we're talking about time blindness. Right? I don't get wigged out when we talk about time blindness, but it is truly a relationship kind of thing, and it needs to be strengthened all the time, because I think if the number one concern that we as parents have is my teenager does not manage their time very well, or I'm worried because he's procrastinating or she's procrastinating and spending hours getting nothing done. And so that relationship with time is always going to be a challenge. But I want you to understand what's happening behind the scenes. So it doesn't mean that your time blindness doesn't mean that your teen doesn't know how to read a clock. Okay, they know how to read a clock. They may not like it, but they know how to read a clock. Time blindness is the inability to sense the passing of time. I'm going to say that again. Time blindness is the inability to sense the passing of time. It's like the internal clock is running on a completely different frequency. Okay? Your teen genuinely probably doesn't realize how much time has passed or how much time is being wasted. And I know we as parents get frustrated when I hear this all the time in my private coaching. My teen spent hours upstairs in their room and there's little to show for it. There's very little work being done. I get that. For those who have ADHD, which is why we're here, time is sort of divided into two categories: now and not now. So it's like living in a world where the present moment exists, okay? Planning for the future, probably not going to happen. And maybe a bit of tension that might be happening in your home, which is why planning for the future, which is why your teen will most likely turn away and not engage when you suggest maybe starting a project that's due in 2 weeks. That's definitely not happening, because 2 weeks feels like it's a month away, and anything outside of the day or even the next couple of days is not going to be on their radar. In my private coaching practice, I always share with my clients, like, my world lives sometimes in 30 minutes with you, sometimes in a day, but no more than 3 to 5 days out. We try and plan the weeks in advance, but if there's a lot of things happening that need to happen and be completed in the next 24 hours, that's what we're going to focus on, because those are the high priorities. Again, the ADHD brain thrives under deadlines and upcoming work. So I wouldn't be in business if I, not that we don't have the project on the horizon and are aware of it, but if it's due in 2 weeks, we're probably not going to be touching on that anytime within that current 2 or 3 days of my coaching practice. So anyway, okay. And here's an example. I remember when we used to live in Charlotte and we had an upstairs game room, playroom. There was no bathrooms or anything up there. And I can't tell you the number of times when my son would just literally bolt down the stairs, like rush, mad dash into the bathroom. And then he was done. He'd come into the kitchen and start like going through the refrigerator because he lost track of time and he forgot to eat. And he waited until the last minute to go to the bathroom, bolting down the stairs. Sound like a dang herd of elephants coming down. But he was so typical of being lost in time. Had no idea 3 or 4 hours had passed. None. His mind, he's having a grand old time playing Madden with his friends, and lo and behold, 3 hours have elapsed. Okay. So before you get frustrated thinking, why can't they just stick to the schedule, or why can't they, come down when I ask them to? Let's pause that for a second. I want you to understand, time blindness is not a refusal to manage time. I want you to think of it, it's more of a sensory challenge, okay? Your teen isn't doing this on purpose. They're not being defiant or lazy. It's just how their brain is wired. And part of understanding ADHD is knowing how the brain is wired. Because if you're trying to work against it, that's going to create a lot of tension and frustration in your home. You need to play to the strengths that you need to understand it. It's not being defiant or lazy. Their brain literally is now and not now. And that's how their brain is wired. So here's a couple other ideas of how it may be showing up in your everyday life. Maybe your teenager, like I shared, is taking forever to get started on the homework. Maybe they're struggling to transition from one activity to another. Maybe they're losing track of time while they're doing chores, or maybe they're even avoiding chores altogether, right? Or, I know we all see this, they're scrolling on social media and gaming for hours on end with no idea of how long it's taking them, which is why when they work on some of their homework and then take a social media break or even a break on their devices, it can be hours before they get back into it and they don't even realize it. I know it's very frustrating for parents, but here's the good news. You can help your teen develop. And I know that I've talked about these strategies before, but they are critical for really helping your teen have a better relationship with time. And I don't want to say I drill this into my private clients, but we work on time management skills all the time. We work on understanding how long things take and using these strategies to help them have a much better, confident relationship with time. I think I've shared with you, visual timers are really important for ADHD brains because they do not understand the passing of time. So in their mind, it's less abstract. Okay. So I'm going to share with you, this was one of the best. This is a time timer. This is an older version of it. They have smaller ones. They have desktop ones. They have bigger ones. They have ones that are like for 2 hours long, ones that are 30 minutes long. And earlier when our son was in elementary school, I bought like 4 of these and I had them around the house, in his room, in the kitchen, up in the playroom, and who knows where else. But anyway, and what I like about it is it literally shows the passing of time. So, and I would always say to him, would you rather have 15 minutes or would you rather have 30? He's like, oh my gosh, definitely 30. But he would have no concept of how long 15 minutes takes. These are the time timers. Again, they have all different beautiful little colors. I'll put the link down in here as well. I know that they're now on Amazon, but this is a great visual of seeing time elapsing because it gets less and less and less. And then you can say 30 minutes is a lot of time. Well, that's a lot of red to a kid in elementary school. That's what we want. Okay, so visual timers, and maybe it's just an analog clock hanging somewhere so they can see that. Again, I've shared this before. The number one life skill I feel is the most important is breaking down their work. I talked about breaking it by numbers. Find 5 sources. Work on 1 paragraph. Work on, 10 vocab words on Monday, 10 vocab words on Tuesday. Make a Quizlet of 5 of your main points kind of things. Numbers is a great strategy to help your teenagers break down those tasks that seem overwhelming. It will help manage their time a lot better because they're going to start getting better at it. And then always build in transition time. Remember, these kids need a buffer between activities so they can shift gears more easily. Remember, the brain is not a light switch, easy on, easy off. It may have taken your teenager 20 minutes to get started. And then all of a sudden you're like, hey, it's dinner time. A lot of frustration is going to be happening there. So remember that it's a transition. They need time to transition due to the challenges of getting started. So bottom line, teens with ADHD, they live in the moment, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But with the right support and tools and patience, right, we can learn how to help them manage their time and plan for the future. Okay, you're not alone in this. We've all experienced that as well. And I know that it is very frustrating when our teens maybe run late or they're not coming down on time or they're just forgetting things. And remember, it's not a defiance. It is a brain wiring condition. Their brains live in the now and the not now. Okay, so thank you again for watching my videos. If you feel like this resonated with you, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell, and so you can be notified when my next video drops. Also, I'm going to put my link to my weekly emails below if you'd like to be a part of that. I drop two emails each week, one with a question that a parent may ask, a question that needs a quick answer. And then also I have a blog as well. And so I drop emails on Tuesdays and Thursdays with blogs and also this video link as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.